at the Comedy Store. He's been at Flappers, now he's here. Give it up for Sal Mascali.
Everybody was doing a great job, man. Give it up for Comedy Boulevard, by the way. They do open mics here in the week. This is the best place in town to do an open mic if you ever want to do one. It really is, yeah. I mean, it's a low bar, but you know, it's still a good place. Like, I mean, it really, I went to an open mic a couple weeks ago, they didn't have a mic. I'm like, that's half of what you promised us. You can't do it. I was like, great, this place is open. Thank you, all right. They made us go up there and do it. Have you ever seen an open mic without a microphone? It just looks like hate speech. It's awful. Imagine what he did without this context earlier, guys. I love you, buddy. We're giving up for the comics you saw tonight, too. Yeah. We gotta do a ton of these. We do a ton of mics, we do a ton of shows, 4 or 5 nights a week we're out, you know, it takes up our time. Sometimes too much, you know. Like earlier this week my wife asked me, where do you go every night? Are you having an affair? I'm like, no, I do open mic stand-up comedy. She goes, okay, like could you have an affair instead? Like I can explain that to my parents, but this is just sad. Oh man. We're thinking of getting a dog, actually. My wife and I were thinking of getting a dog, and whenever we tell people that, they're always like, well, make sure you adopt. You have to adopt a dog. It's like, yeah, we can't have one of our own. Of course we're going to do that. That was my first time saying that out loud. That mediocre reaction was what that deserved. Thank you, guys. Now, we're getting a dog. We've been married for 6 years. We're thinking of getting a dog because we found out we can't have children. And that's a whole thing. Yeah, it's a whole thing we're dealing with. You know, we can't have kids. And the reason, I'll just be honest with you guys, the reason we can't have kids is because they're expensive and annoying. And I'm not doing that. Like, not at all. Yeah. I might be too old to have a kid. I mean, that's the thing. Is 34 too old to have a kid? What do you guys think? No? No? Okay, I'm 40. Yeah, I lost. By the way, I can see all you guys from where I'm standing, so I'm aware that when I said 34, a bunch of you were like, he looks terrible. I saw it. Yeah. He's got a hairline like a Charlie Brown character. This is bad. By the way, is this a normal way to stand? I just realized I was doing this. Like, I'm not going to say drop a hard R word, but I'm going to find a way to make you uncomfortable. Like, look at this. You know? That's cool. I turned 40 at the beginning of the year, which is kind of an interesting feeling. I'm just more aware of my age now, because it's kind of weird. Like, for some of you out there, a person half your age is a child. But for me, a person half my age is like you guys. It's like we're all here together. Like, if you're under 30, try to do this. Picture a person half your age, and now imagine you have to respect that person's opinion. It's a weird feeling, right? It feels kind of weird. You know, and I relate to things differently as I'm getting older, you know? Like, I used to watch those Lord of the Rings movies and be like, oh, these are cool. I want to be like Legolas with a bow and arrow, or I want to be Aragorn, he's got a sword, that's cool. I watch this movie now and I'm like, I want to be one of these hobbits that does not go on this adventure. This looks hard. Like, enjoy your mountain climbing and fighting goblins. I'm going to stay in my house with a sweater, a pipe, and a wheel of cheese. That's my fantasy. That's all I want. I never want to leave my house. It is a nightmare being here right now, but I'm glad I'm here with you guys. I just want to watch my little shows. I watched a show recently on shut-ins. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? The show on shut-ins. You know, I mean, these people, they stay in their house all the time. They keep the doors locked. They never talk to people. They never go anywhere. They never leave. And I was really angry when I saw this because I didn't know this was an option I could take. This pissed me off. It's weird when someone with a debilitating mental health disorder is living out my wildest dream. I was like, man, good for you. You know? But as I'm getting older, I'm gaining wisdom. That's kind of an interesting thing. I'm finding new things that are interesting. Like, when I was growing up, there was this thing, maybe you've heard of this. It's this old kind of rumor that went around that if you take the album Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd and you play it with the Wizard of Oz, it's supposed to like sync up perfectly. That's one. And I learned a new one recently too. It's if you take the album Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys and you play it backwards, it sounds like shit. So, that's some wisdom I'm giving to you guys. Enjoy that, you know. I saw they're making a new Superman movie. I think that's really cool. They got to cast a new Superman. You know, I think it's time to get a black Superman. I think we need that. I think we need that representation. I also think it'd be good for his secret identity. Seriously, like, imagine it like it's a scene in the movie and there's a guy like me that goes, have you guys noticed that Superman and Clark Kent look very similar? And then someone else goes, dude, you are racist. Like, forget it, got it. Won't mention it again. Don't worry about it. I can make that joke. Some of my best friends are Superman. Yeah. I quit drinking 6 months ago. Yeah, thank you. I started again 3 days later. It did not take, but, you know, I kind of slowed down because I used to live in Chicago before I moved here. And if you haven't been, Chicago's a drinking town. Like, I know people in LA are like, you know, we party. It's like, yeah, you party. In Chicago, they drink. That is the difference, all right? Everyone in Chicago is a high-functioning alcoholic. Everyone in LA is high and kind of not really doing much of anything, you know? Here's how much they drink in Chicago, okay? If you drink in LA the way you drink in Chicago, they're gonna think you're an alcoholic. But if you drink in Chicago the way you drink here in LA, they'll think you're a recovering alcoholic. Last time I was there, a friend of mine really was serious. He's like, you've only had 2 beers, did you quit drinking? I was like, thanks for looking out for me, buddy, I appreciate that. My best friend was just visiting from New York City. I like New York. I think it's a really cool place. You know, I like the things they say about New York, like it's the city that never sleeps, or it's the Big Apple. I think those are cool. The one I don't get though is when people say like, you know, New York City. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. It's like if you made it in New York, why don't you go anywhere else? Where else is there to go? No one's ever sold out Madison Square Garden and been like, I think I'm ready to make it in Toledo. I can do that now. You know. Los Angeles has a similar phrase. It's Los Angeles. If you can make it here, fucking how? How did you do that? Or if you make it here, can you show your age in my headshot? Maybe we can get coffee. I think it'll be fun. We have a good time. Sorry, is anyone from Ohio? Sorry about the Toledo thing, by the way. It's a crap state. I'm sorry. Ohio's not one of the better states. Like, I could prove it, too. You ready? Okay, who's one of the most famous people from Ohio? It's Jeffrey Dahmer? Well, you're not really winning your case here, buddy, right? It's like, yeah, guys, Germany's pretty good. Hitler's from there. Like, no, it doesn't work, right? He's from Austria. Oh, shit, I'm getting Alzheimer's. All right. Now, here's Neil Armstrong is one of the most famous people from Ohio. Neil Armstrong, first man on the moon. What is he best known for? For getting as far away from Ohio as a person could possibly get. Like, he was like, I gotta get out of here. And they're like, what about California? He was like, you have to invent something new to get me away from this place. This is shitty. All right. Jeffrey Dahmer threw me off. As he does so many of us. Yeah. But we gotta be good about things like mental health. I think that's important, you know. Sometimes it's weird. Like, I heard about a guy recently who said he was a workaholic. And that one I don't get. You know, it's like, hey, did you hear about Gary? He's a workaholic. Oh shit, what's going on? It's terrible. He's only achieved every goal he's ever set out for himself. The man has everything he's ever wanted in life. It's a tragedy. You should send him to rehab. We did. He wound up working there. He did an amazing job. I just have one question before I go. I had a situation happen recently, and I just need to know if this is racist. Just hear me out, please. Let me get to at least the middle of this before we start judging. My best friend, I was telling you about earlier, my best friend is black. And I've known him for over half my life. He's been my best friend since college. I love this guy. And last summer, he gave me an N-word pass. Okay, all right, good. Y'all know what I mean here. Here's what he said. He was like, I've known you for a long time, so here's the deal. You can say the N-word as long as we're together and you're singing a song. Okay? And those were the rules. And everything was fine. Everything was great until like a couple weeks later, we were all singing happy birthday to him, and he changed his mind like really quick. It's like, the rules are confusing. That's not my fault. Anyway, I'm Sal Mascali. Thank you guys so much.